Marc Marquez has delivered a striking and emotionally charged assessment of Francesco Bagnaia's difficult 2025 MotoGP campaign, revealing the deeper psychological and technical struggles behind the reigning champion's sudden loss of form. Speaking in the documentary series Marc Marquez, All on Red, the eight-time world champion reflected on his own rebirth at Ducati while addressing the contrasting fortunes inside the Ducati Lenovo Team garage. From the very first episode, All on Red makes one thing clear. Marquez's decision to leave Honda and join Ducati was not merely a career move. It was a life-changing gamble. After years of injury setbacks, physical pain, and internal doubt, the Spaniard entered 2025 determined not just to win again, but to rediscover himself as a racer. "This is the most special year of my life," Marquez said. "Now I am at peace with myself because I am fighting against myself." For Marquez, Ducati represented a final roll of the dice. There was no safety net, no room for hesitation, only total commitment. "I took a huge risk by moving to Ducati. It was my last chance. We have everything to fight for the championship. The right bike, the right team. Now everything depends on me." The pressure of debuting for Ducati was immense. Marquez admitted that the tension built day by day, peaking dramatically at the opening race of the season. Yet when the lights went out, his instinctive, aggressive riding style returned in full force. And so did the victories. That first win he described was unforgettable. Crucially, Marquez revealed how close he had come to losing belief in himself after years of injuries. In MotoGP, he explained, confidence is everything. And once it disappears, riders enter a dangerous spiral. When you start to lose confidence, you lose even more. You feel every movement of the bike. You ride stiff, not free. His solution was simple but ruthless. Trust instinct, ride at 100%, and never back down. That philosophy brought back the fearless Marquez the paddock had feared for a decade. While Marquez was rebuilding his career, Francesco Bagnaia was enduring the most difficult season of his MotoGP life. The two-time world champion, once the benchmark at Ducati, struggled to adapt as Marquez quickly established himself as the team's dominant force. Yet Marquez refused to portray Bagnaia as a rival to be crushed. "I think Pecco will come back. He has the talent and the team. If we want the best for this project, we need both riders at the front." Despite this public show of unity, the documentary paints a stark contrast between the two men. Marquez is shown celebrating with raw emotion and energy, while Bagnaia appears increasingly frustrated, confused, and mentally drained. "He played with us during the race," Bagnaia admitted. "Marc is a different type of rider. He's very energetic, and when he celebrates, he puts on quite a show." That difference in mentality proved decisive. Bagnaia's problems were not limited to raw pace. Throughout 2025, he repeatedly battled setup issues, inconsistent feedback from the bike, and an inability to find comfort with Ducati's evolving machinery. "One thing that always happened to me is that I faced problems before I could evaluate anything else," Bagnaia explained. "I tried everything, adapting to what the team told me. But the result was always the same. Even a victory in Japan failed to halt the downward spiral. By season's end, Bagnaia had slipped to 5th in the championship, a far cry from his previous title-winning form. In contrast, Marquez thrived in the same environment. Where Bagnaia searched for answers, Marquez trusted instinct. Where Bagnaia hesitated, Marquez attacked. The 2025 season exposed a significant shift inside Ducati. Once built around Bagnaia, the factory team now revolves around Marquez's aggressive leadership and psychological resilience. While Bagnaia remains one of MotoGP's most naturally gifted riders, the documentary highlights how modern MotoGP demands more than talent alone. Mental strength, Adaptability and confidence under pressure are now just as important as speed. Marquez's anger, passion, and refusal to accept mediocrity appear to have fueled his resurgence, while Bagnaia's uncertainty became his greatest weakness. If All on Red offers any warning for the future, it is this: MotoGP is unforgiving. Champions who hesitate are quickly overtaken by those who attack. Bagnaia still has the tools to return to the top, but his 2025 struggles show that Ducati's internal balance has shifted dramatically. Marquez is no longer just chasing titles, he is shaping the team's identity. And for the rest of the MotoGP grid, that is a worrying prospect. Beyond the on-track results, the psychological contrast between Marquez and Bagnaia has become one of the most fascinating subplots of the 2025 season. While Marquez appears energized by pressure, Bagnaia has often looked weighed down by expectation. The Italian rider, once praised for his calm and calculated approach, has struggled to find emotional stability as the season progressed, especially when early mistakes began to snowball into a pattern of self-doubt. Insiders at Ducati have quietly acknowledged that Marquez's arrival shifted the internal dynamic of the garage. His demanding feedback, relentless work ethic, and uncompromising racing mentality raised the performance bar for everyone. For some, this proved motivating. For Bagnaia, however, the constant comparison to a rider with such an aggressive mindset may have added to the strain rather than inspiring improvement. There is also a technical dimension to Bagnaia's decline that cannot be ignored. Ducati's 2025 machine has evolved to suit a more front-end aggressive riding style, something Marquez has mastered throughout his career. Bagnaia, whose smooth and precise approach once made him the ideal Ducati rider, has struggled to extract the same performance from a bike that now rewards risk over refinement. This evolution highlights a broader trend in MotoGP. Adaptability is now the ultimate weapon. Riders can no longer rely on a single riding style to remain competitive. Marquez's ability to reinvent himself after years of injury shows how essential mental flexibility has become in modern Grand Prix racing. For Bagnaia, the challenge heading into 2026 is not purely about speed. It is about rediscovering confidence, rebuilding trust with his machine, and reasserting his identity within a team that now has a clear alpha presence. Without that psychological reset, even the most talented riders can find themselves stuck in a cycle of frustration. Meanwhile, Marquez's resurgence has sent a powerful message to the rest of the grid. Age, injury, and past setbacks no longer define him. Instead, he has transformed adversity into fuel, proving that experience combined with fearless ambition can still dominate the sport's highest level.